All right, we are recording, and I think probably the best thing to do is to do a quick sum up of who is going to be recruited and what the challenges are. Does everyone remember what the character is that they're going to be playing as and what the challenge is going to be to recruit you?
My challenge is that I'm currently being held by one of my former crewmates who I believe is the reason why the crew broke up.
And you are Rorik Raging Bull Crass, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And she is a what they call in the slang term a miner. She is a combat specialist.
I'll be playing Barnabas Silverstone. He's the smith. And currently he's being detained in Jax's underground vault. It's basically underneath the tavern. And I don't know exactly where this will be located. I guess maybe we could pick any random tavern in town and consider that Jax's tavern.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
I'll be playing Charles Bromston, a little gnome necromancer who needs help with getting his butler back from an enemy faction.
And then we've got Ed and Troy as well.
Yes, goes ready to go.
What was that?
Dasco's ready to go. You can put him anywhere. He's probably somewhere in the Middle Kingdoms. Just being a grifter.
And the challenge they need to overcome to get him to join you?
Well, I mean, it's not going to be hard to get him to join. I think the challenge is really getting him into Celebrate, if that's where we're headed.
So the challenge is that he needs to have his name cleared, right?
Yeah, or just be allowed to set foot in Celebrate without being arrested. Either way.
A writ of safe passage, something like that. Troy, did you have a sense of what you wanted them to have to accomplish to recruit your character?
Sorry. Yeah, so the name, I'm not 100% on this name, but it's fine. So it's Duftel. I don't even know how to say my last name, actually. I knew it last week, and I lost it. Let's see, Duftel Manu, but just call him Duftel. And then, yeah, you have to find him. He's probably hiding on the moon. So he would probably be who you're looking for last, I'm guessing. I don't know.
The moon is how you guys are going to get back to Celebre once you're done with your recruiting trip. So that sounds like a reasonable last stop. All right, then. So when we left off, let's see. I forgot to put the 2 leaders of the crew on my character list. Whoops. Evatala. and Remy.
What kinds of demons were in the Garathan fight?
They were Beatazu, so lawful evil demons.
What they look like?
There was a bunch of them actually, quite some variety. We had well, there were 3 pit fiends leading it.
Do they have tails?
Some of them did.
Yep.
Yeah, what did your armor look like again? Distance after that?
So Gunthar, before the battle, spent quite some time trying to rally the troops by preaching the harvesting of demon body parts for use in making armor and adornments.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out if I want to give my chick like a demon bone something or other. Trying to figure out like some kind of apparel.
Demon tail belt. Is that what you think?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, dude. Yeah.
I knew it. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, who knew that demons were a reliable hunting resource?
Okay. Evitalia, Remy, what is your preference for who to work on first for recruiting?
We're probably going to go with the grocer.
Yeah.
Daska.
Okay. So, Ed, we're going to put together then a quick little adventure to recruit your character.
All right.
So right now they're in Baron. I don't know if your character is nearby or if they're going to have to venture down into the Middle Kingdoms to find them. But because they are in an area where the Crimson Guard currently has some troops, if there's any kind of interaction that they need to do with Celebre to get like a writ of safe passage for your character, this would be the area we would do that in. Do we want to go that route?
I mean, I'll say that I'm in a small town south of Thorville. I wouldn't be in a big city.
Okay. Do they need to get like a writ of safe passage for your character, or is that something you're going to require them to have? Or
I mean, I wouldn't require them to have it. I would require them to have a good opportunity.
okay, well, I think they have that.
If they had a writ of that, that in of itself is a good opportunity. So, I mean, that would smooth things over, but it's up to them.
Especially since, they don't want to, if you're caught in Celebre, that can create incredible complications.
It depends on whether, from my perspective, it really depends on whether they want to come and basically pay me to help them, which a writ of passage would totally suffice, or if they're interested in coming and bargaining with me, which I'm also happy to oblige. It's what I do.
Not knowing which is which, we'll go ahead and probably run with the idea that while you guys are here, this is probably a good opportunity to try and get a writ of safe passage.
That's what I was thinking.
All right, then. What do you want to try to do to attempt to get a writ of safe passage? Remember, we're not doing it quite yet. This is making plans. Are you going to need to hire anybody to help you out in this? Or are you going to just like walk in and try and ask for one?
Well, I was thinking Talia could go to her contact that got me out.
Yeah. But as a backup plan, it might be worth finding somebody who's a talented forger.
Yeah.
Just in case, asking for a safe passage for a wanted criminal that I have no connection with comes off weird.
This is a town that has many talented craftsmen. Now, if I recall correctly, Ed, the crimes were pretty significant, right? Treason, sedition.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the
Sedition
poster's
is the
pretty,
big one.
yeah. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to create basically just a short little adventure for them, maybe 2 or 3 dice rolls, to see if they can overcome the challenge of getting, in this case, a writ of safe passage, which says that either for some period of time or maybe indefinitely, that the sedition charge has been dropped and that this character is now free to enter the city of Celebre, provided he, of course, commits no further acts of treason.
Yeah, the treason is the big one. The other ones are fraud, theft, and bribery, which that's just a day, like a normal day in Celebre, so it's not that big of a deal. I did commit fraud against the guilds, so that maybe is an opportunity.
So what was the name? Sorry to interrupt. What was the name of the city where so Riker was like a mercenary and he fought in, was it Bone Pillar?
Well, there's High Fort is where...
High Fort, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, that's what I needed.
High Fort's the city that's been repeatedly suffering horrible magical disasters.
Right.
Mechanical or explosive, whatever.
It suffered the wrath of Shephathus, and in so doing, the wrath of Azafu. Actually, it suffered the wrath of Azafu twice.
Yeah, several times.
You really shouldn't let that gnome go anywhere.
There's Azafu, then Shephathus, then Azafu again, then Malel. And then the Chaos Children. I feel like I may have been missing one in between.
So really quick then, in regards to renown, because I have 3 items in there, how do I deduct them from my total?
Mathematically, we have to alter the formula to no longer include those as default points. I will assist with that.
Gotcha.
No. And there you go. Done.
Thank you, thank you. If you want to, feel free to look into my inventory and let me know if you have what you think of that.
Oh, the locket. I love it.
I feel like that's going to help me with like a composure rolls.
Yeah. Any enemy that knows what that belt is from definitely will think twice. Okay, cool. All right, so it sounds like you want to recruit a forger. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd like to have a backup plan because I don't know if my connections can get rid of treason. And a good forgery should work on, hopefully, most people that we will run across.
Well, the other thing we could just forge is the rap sheet. And
That
get it, if we get replace the forged one with the original one. And then I think just giving it a writ of passage to someone that's done some lesser crimes. You won't have to stretch your connection so far.
You're not currently in Celebre, so like you won't be able to alter records of like the main courts. And also, there's going to be people who probably remember who this guy is and what he did.
But if we can get the writ, my idea is that they're not going to have immediate access to the records in this area, or is it in Barron? So if we can show them in their files that it's nothing major, get someone in Barron to give a writ of passage, and anyone deals with us in Celebre, we just show the writ of passage, and hopefully they leave us alone
That's a decent idea.
without going to look up the actual real rap sheet in Celebre.
How does that sound to you, Ed?
That sounds like a plan. They're overwhelmed as it is.
So we just need a forger to make a copy of a rap sheet for what was it? We can get rid of the sedition, get rid of the treason, and we'll leave somewhat. What was it? Breaking and entering?
Fraud, theft, and bribery. Fraud is the biggest one amongst that.
Yeah, we'll leave some.
Turn all too drunk and disorderly again.
So who wants to play as Hatchberg the document forger? Jackie? Kristen? Tice? Troy? Basically anyone not currently active in the scene.
I can go for it.
Alrighty. A well-dressed, perhaps overly so, woman is approaching your place of business. Your totally legitimate place of business.
Hello. What brings you here today?
Ah, yes. So, I have heard that you can, let's say, help me acquire changes to the official record. Perhaps for, I like have to actually pull out a book for money, correct? That's what you want, money, right?
True. For the right one.
Of course. All right. I wouldn't give you the wrong money. It'd be quite the hassle to have to go and exchange it for the right money.
What exactly are you looking for?
I have a business associate who has some trumped up charges, and I was going to try and get some of those charges to not be so trumped up in maybe not the official record, but the mobile records, if that makes sense. And I'm willing to pay.
Excellent.
So
Well, I'm familiar with those types of records, so I should be able to create a good forgery for you.
brilliant. Now I did say I'm willing to pay. How much are you going to charge?
So this one, I might be a little bit tricky, so I might have to go with my highest rate, and then I'll write on a piece of paper and like slip it across the table. Can't go any lower than that. I don't really know how much is a going rate for so
You write on a piece of paper, just money.
money.
If you'd like to just straight out pay for this service, you can tax your resources and do that. It means you'll have less available resources for resource rolls coming up, but
I mean,
yeah.
This place of business I'm in, what sort of business is this? It is an open cash register.
I don't think there's a cash register. I mean, I feel like this would have to be some sort of underground type thing. So like whatever the business is, it's not what it really
Like,
is.
is this like
You're like in a bakery or something, and then like,
yeah. And like in the back room they do some shades up?
exactly.
There's forged documents baked into the cakes.
But there's no. I was going to try and steal and pay with their own money.
Yeah. So it is a bakery, and there's like a cash register, but I mean, it's got like bakery levels of money.
Bakery levels of money. That's going to be.
Maybe forgery levels of money.
Customer in the corner
So-
comments, "Why does this cake taste so papery?"
All right. So I will pay this to you when it's complete, or is this a half up front, half after it's done, sort of deal?
That sounds good. Half up front and half after it's done works for me.
All right. I will pay half of like whatever amount it is.
Are you paying yet? So wait, Celebra or Baron just got taken over by the Celebrans, right?
Yes.
Correct.
All right, can I like do some sort of investigation roll and see if there's anything that lets me know if what side of the conflict this person is with?
Ooh, excellent. All right. Yeah, make an investigation roll.
How do I? It's .f.
I'd probably be do persuasion plus investigation, I think. Or I'm sorry, perception plus investigation.
So so it'd be D3 for me then, because I have 2 perception and 1 investigation.
Okay. And Kristen, you have a social skill of 2 on this character. So go ahead and roll 2 dice against what Chris is rolling to see if you can keep your affiliations hidden. Are these rolling in session or in Talus?
Ooh, I went in session.
Oh, good. Yeah, session is the place to roll. Excellent.
You can roll on Talus. Session's just a place for other people who don't care.
Well, I have session hooked into the recording, so everything that rolls in session shows up in the recording. Yeah. I love that video. The toilet paper is cake.
Very special bakery.
All right, so you both roll a 1. I'm going to say then that means that, Chris, you do find out what the affiliation is, but Kristen gets to decide what that affiliation is.
Oh wow. Okay. I actually don't quite know what we're talking about here. What side of the tax evasion type thing? Like, am I for Celebre?
Celebre just basically attacked Baron and incited a revolution internally to have the local population of Baron rebel against the mining cooperative. So the question is, were you loyal to the mining cooperative during that rebellion, or were you loyal to the people / Celebre?
Okay. And we're in Baron right now?
Yeah.
Okay. This character I think would be On the side of the people.
Excellent. All right, I slide this little paper back. This is for a hero. This person is actively working against the Celebran government and has been exiled from Celebre, and we need to get them back in to continue their work. So this isn't going to cut it.
Oh. Well, why didn't you say that sooner? I'll have
You
to
don't
get
know who you can
special
trust
it.
these
I
days.
mean,
So I guess I'll like slash a bit, big red slash on the paper and, cut the price down considerably.
Alrighty. Congratulations.
Still
You're not
half
gonna
up
have to
front.
tax your so you don't need to tax your resources. We'll just go ahead and you've now recruited a forger. What's your next step?
Well, I mean, I would just like to lay out like, the name and what the document needs to say. So, like, I'll like turn as the baker that's not a baker turns away and go. So the name is Vasco Verdo. So we don't want to go, because he is somewhat well known to the Celebra government. We don't want to go too far in how much we slash out, but let's just leave it like theft and bribery that they're wanted for, because that I think we can probably get away with the back end. It basically just like set up so we have the records to say that they're wanted for something that would possibly only carry a small jail term rather than sedition off with your head or something.
Okay, I think I know just the thing.
Alright, for your forgery skill, you have 5 dice. We will take those successes and add them to the pool of the total challenge that they're going to try and use when they implement this item you're creating.
3 successes is pretty good.
Not too shabby. Just a moment, and then I'll walk to the back and grab like a giant flour sack and fill it up with like it's an empty flour sack, and fill it up with a bunch of pastries, and I'll come back and hand it to them for your
All right.
travels.
So you guys now have your quality 3, your 3 successes worth of forged documents.
And a bag of muffins.
How are the muffins?
I basically just inhale the first muffin and then eat the second one.
They better be good because you just paid 50% of a lot of money for these ones.
Oh,
As
no,
far
they
as I can
didn't.
tell.
No, they didn't have to pay for these.
Oh, those are free muffins.
They
These are
used
complimentary muffins.
complimentary muffins because they leveraged this person's loyalties against them.
I see.
I want to fuel the fight for the revolution.
A very clever ploy, worthy of a criminal mastermind. Now, of the people that are in Celebre, or I'm sorry, in Baron at the moment that represent Celebre, who do you want to try to take these documents to get a writ of safe passage?
So I know I'm on good terms with Alford. Is there anybody else in the city that has a the authority to issue a writ of safe passage or something like that?
The Celebrans who are here are primarily military. They're not really bureaucrats. Althorn is an agent. He's trained Crimson Guard, but he's one of the guys that they send out to do like solo missions, sort of thing. Except that this time he's not running solo. He's got a small crew with him, it seems. And they do not seem to be Crimson Guard, so some kind of other group of specialists of some sort. But it seems like that group has broken up since you've been in the city. You've mostly seen Althorn alone, or talking to that strange magic girl. And at the moment that you're looking for him, you see that he's getting ready to leave the city, heading south towards Celebre. But there are still other Crimson Guard present in the city. You can either intercept him if you think he's your best opportunity, or you can go for one of the other guards that were doing their best to be in the role of clerks. For example, the gentleman that you had helped the previous day.
Yeah.
We're going to put some air quotes around the word helped, but yeah.
I mean, I did help.
You certainly helped somebody.
Well, if I do see Althorn, I'll at least see him off. Hey, safe passage, safe travels.
Thank you. I think there's a reasonable chance I'll survive.
More reasonable than your path up here, I would say.
Diplomacy was never my strong suit, but that's what this current state of affairs calls for. So off I go.
And then I'm going to go try to find my clerk friend.
All right, so you locate the soldier who temporarily turned into jail clerk. It seems that their success with your assistance has only landed them more paperwork to do. But they are starting to get civilians local to the town back into the active government. They're trying to instate some sort of local election to get the town to be self-sufficient. Celebre never intended to conquer. Celebre doesn't really like to have more than Celebre to worry about, as Celebre is itself quite a lot to worry about. So they're trying to get this place back into a self-sufficient state, and there to help is a goblin chieftain from the local mountains who's come to offer assistance with rebuilding the town.
All right. I mean, I'll walk up to agree, hey, see you got more paperwork to do. Yeah. I'm just basically just agreeing. I have to got more paperwork to do. Do you still need assistance? I have some free time.
Oh, thank goodness, he says. These goblins, man, they don't really understand how this is all forming together. They're just trying to just throw bodies at the problem, literally.
No. You need organization, hierarchical. Right. Give me a moment. Hierarchical structure. To organize something of this magnitude.
You get the sense, though, that if you
I'd be happy to help.
You get the sense that if you involve yourself in the problems he's dealing with, you're not going to get a lot of opportunity to use that station to manipulate documents. What you might get access to is people that can write documents for you, official stamps and seals and stuff. But yeah, this guy is dealing now with infrastructural issues like where are we going to build the new town hall?
All right. Interesting. This stuff is. Ooh. Well,
But you could try trading favors, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'm actually going to help, supposedly like free of charge, and I'd like to, as I help with the story, I guess consort with the other clerks and stuff and see who has the authority to write papers um, of the ilk of like, here's a rare safe passage for somebody um, who would otherwise be arrested.
What you find is that senior field officers have that privilege. They can write basically an overriding notice for whatever situation they're dealing with in the field. So the guy that you were talking to could totally do that for you. It's not something you'd be able to do yourself by getting access to his stuff, though. You need it to be done in his hand.
Yeah. I just want to see who. So is this guy that I could do it? Say,
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to sit down. I'm not like saying here I'm helping you for a favor. I'm helping you out of the goodness of my own heart. Then about halfway through, I'm like, actually, you know what? I have something you might be able to help me out with when you get a chance. Could you do you have a moment, or will you have a moment later?
Yeah,
Chat
sure.
over this?
Real quick, just do a focus plus scholarship for the busy work you're doing to build up rapport, and you'll use your successes there as a bonus for your actual persuasion check here. Since you're putting in the work, you should get a little bonus for it. There you
2
go.
successes.
So you'll get an extra 2 dice when you make your persuasion check here.
Oh, great. Because I do have to head out in a couple days. And, I need something done before I leave, and maybe you have the authority to help me out with that. And I guess I'll just set up the meeting, unless he has time now.
Yeah, he's got time.
All right. So, I have a friend who got caught up in some, like, minor stuff in Celebre and can't go back in there. But he's so. I'm sorry, I don't think I've properly introduced myself. I'm a Talus. I am of the Hellfarm family. I am the heiress to the family fortune, in fact. And one of this guy's basically a client slash worker. He does some work for a family business, and as such, we, ensure he has like a roof over his head stuff. But he got caught up in some minor stuff unrelated, and he's a really good worker. We'd like to have him back. So if you could just get me like a rare passage for him, it's like some burglary and theft stuff that he. I don't know the full story, but I would really appreciate it.
I mean, I'll have to take a look at his rap sheet first. I don't want to just issue that for anybody.
I could. Do you have the records here? Like, I could go pull it out for you.
Yeah, I think you remember where it is. You were just doing some clerk work. Yeah, go ahead and bring that over to me, and I'll take a look. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll go over there, pretend I'm fiddling through the records, and then basically just pull out the forgery. And do I see the original?
Yes, you do.
In those records. Yeah, that's being pocketed to be later burnt.
Okay. All right, you bring him back the forgery. So you're going to need, the forgery is giving you 3 successes, and you got 2 extra dice here. So you're going to be rolling your persuasion and probably empathy, because you made a very impassioned speech that seemed very empathetic of you.
All right, so that's 3 persuasion, 3 empathy, and then I add 2 dice as well. Correct?
Yeah, that should be your empathy plus your persuasion plus the extra 2 dice that you
Okay.
got from doing
That's
some
8.
prep work.
3 successes on 8.
Okay, and we add the 3 successes from your the document, so you've got a total of 6 successes. He frowns, like, this is not a good idea. Like, I get that, you know, this is like a friend of yours or whatever, but I think it's probably best if this person stays away from Celebre. They can be quite prosperous out in the Middle Kingdoms.
Yeah, the problem is we have these little things that I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're called board meetings, and he needs to be able to attend those when they happen. And those are only at Celebre, and there's no real way for him to get in right now.
So he's on the board of an actual functioning company?
He's not there, but he is. He's not actually like on the board, but he needs to attend these meetings as part of his role. Otherwise, he can't perform his role. He's more of a secretary than a board member.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, boss.
Yeah?
I just want to talk loud enough that the other guy can hear. I was talking to that person over there, and I was figuring out how to get the permits so that you can fund all those projects to help rebuild here. So hopefully you're able to get your guy allowed here to help out.
Excellently done.
Yeah.
What are we rolling here? That's a good interjection. Yeah. That seems like a cunning to me. I could see empathy. You're playing on the fact that he wants to rebuild.
Definitely cunning.
Yeah, that's probably more cunning.
Bold-faced tactical lie. Yeah, that's cunning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cunning plus persuasion, then.
Yeah.
Or cunning plus performance.
I like respond like yes, acknowledgement, and I just like give a look to the guy I'm chatting with. to like find the successes.
There you go. So he says, and you're Evitalia, right? Of the
Evitalia, yes. Helifarin.
Of the Helifarin family. So, okay, so you're good for the money. Okay, yeah, we can go ahead and help you out with this. I don't want to be indelicate, but would there be any deposit made on that today?
We got muffins.
You're currently at 9 successes.
Unfortunately,
so you're currently at 9. Yeah, you need one more success from somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not traveling like heavy here. Like I was just coming here to handle some quick business and then head out. But I could probably spare a little bit, just if only just to pay some people to help run admin for you.
Okay, so if you take the time to go around the town, call in some debts, and pull in some resources leaning on your family name, you can tax your resources by 1, and that will be your 10th success, completing the challenge.
Yep, I'm going to do that.
All right, you now have a writ of safe passage for entry into Celebre for known criminal Dasco.
Yep.
Well done.
And, like, as I assume we're heading out to meet up with where we guess that Dasco is at this point. So as I leave, I go back to this guy who's helped us out, and I go, I'll see you. Keep in touch, knowing fully well I probably never talk to him again.
Indeed. Ed, did you say Dasco's at the foot of the Troll Mountains into the Middle Kingdoms?
Yeah. Between Troll Mountains and
High Ford?
Victoria. Yeah, basically.
I also sent a letter to my family and just let them know that they need to do some help in the rebuild of Baron.
Excellent. The courier
Yeah.
takes it and it will go out with the mail.
Off with you.
These days, it's never entirely clear if the mail is being delivered magically or not. The Postal Service is keeping a tight lid on exactly how it's managing to deliver postage, but it does get around. All right. So about a day later, traveling south, the two of you arrive at this small little town just off the little ways off the main mountain pass that leads down into the Middle Kingdoms. You're basically at the foot of the mountain, and there's a little hunting lodge off on the side where Dasco is known to hang out.
So I'll be in the town square probably next to a little cart, and I'm selling something. I've got bottles arrayed along the side of the cart. Got a top hat on, and I'm discussing with the locals. Not many people here. There's probably like maybe half a dozen people listening to my spiel.
Oh, well. Listen to this spiel.
Yeah.
Well, I say, it come one can all. It's we have tonic here, guaranteed to work against Bone Spur and Cinder. Protect yourself, protect your family.
Wow.
This stuff is potent stuff. I come from Baron. Look at the hair. I say, I kind of
Oh my
twiddle
God,
my
bro.
beard. He's like, they got some cure in there, but it's a long journey. It's like I'm here to help you guys out. It's like help you guys out. This is top quality stuff. Top quality stuff.
I love him. He's such a piece of shit. Knowing what Cinder and Bonespur are, 100% piece of shit for selling this stuff.
Yeah, for reference, Cinder is a plague that is spread by the ashes of people who died from it, touching your skin. It begins by bits of your skin turning ashy and then spontaneously lighting on fire. It slowly burns you away until you ignite and burn to a crisp, and then anyone who touches your ashes receives the plague. Bone Spur, I don't remember exactly how it transmits, but Bone Spur causes your bones to grow spikes that eventually pierce your skin and go from discomfort to actually stabbing yourself from the inside out.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're horrible, horrible plagues.
All right.
They are magical in nature, sent by Aphthis, and
And there's no, because they're magical in nature, right? Just, obviously this guy's lying, so just, yeah, huge asshole.
I'm interested. So, hi, friend.
Well, hello. Step right up. Step right up. No time like today to protect yourself and your family from these horrible diseases.
I can't believe you were able to get a hold of this stuff. This is like really hard stuff to get.
My eyebrow quirks a little bit, and then I say, "Of course, good sir. We it's like we have the stockpiles directly from Celebre." And he kind of fishes around, and pulls out like a little wolf pin and says, kind of holds it up and says, "Under the authority of the king himself. Got the tattoo and everything." He says.
Wow, I hear getting into Celebre can be hard these days, and I could always use someone that can get us things, and I will flash the writ.
I kind of glance down and then glance back up, and I say, "Well, folks, I'm going to close up right now. I'll be back in a little bit. Just have to speak with an old colleague here. I believe he may have good news about the tonics for the fade." Everyone seems relatively excited, and then I close the shop and step around the back. And I say, "Well, I guess step around to my parlor and we can have a discussion."
Go to the parlor.
My parlor is a little slightly less muddy patch behind the cart with a chair and a bottle of whiskey, basically.
Gotcha. Are there any glasses out?
Yeah.
Cool. I start pouring us all some whiskey.
As we go around, I do grab some of the tongs. I'm studying them. I know they're rubbish, but I'm interested in what sort of rubbish they are.
I say I'm okay, and I open one of the tonics and start sipping from it.
All right. So I'm Remy, and we are looking for someone that can procure things for us on a job.
Well, I mean, I can procure things, but as you can see, I have a job. You see,
Yeah.
I'm doing the Lord's work here, and then I say, "The great Lord, the great Lord Kael," and then give a little prayer and take a sip of the tonic.
Is it Ashta?
I mean, with this guy, it might be flavored water. Who knows?
Yeah, it's like fucking
Yeah,
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I want to know what's in here. So like I'm investigating. I'm like maybe take a slight sip now that I know that's not dangerous because he's sipping it himself.
Yeah, so it tastes like bitter diesel fuel, basically. It's like a bitter tequila flavor.
Interesting.
All right. So, yeah, the Lord's work you're doing here is great, but
You like money.
if you had what was it if you had the resources of the mining cooperative, imagine how much you could do for the Lord.
I take another slow sip from the thing, and then I sit it down, and I kind of look at you, and I scratch my beard, and then I say, "The Lord don't pay nearly as well as the mining cooperative, so I'm interested, let's just say. But I'm not a fan of the mining cooperative, if you know what I mean. Like, we don't really get along.
Oh, we're
So
not.
if you're from the cooperative and you're trying to hire me to work for the cooperative, well, let's just say that probably is not going to go well for anybody. I heard those guys aren't doing so well right now.
They're doing well enough, but they currently have lost the use of Baron. And I need help getting goods and resources to take all of their tax savings that they're going to be transferring to Coralland.
So we're stealing from the mining cooperative.
Of course.
Well, stealing from the mining cooperative is much more important, is much more lucrative than stealing from the great god Kael. And I take another sip of the Ashta. And I say, so count me in. What's my cut?
How many was that going to be? 8?
There will be a total of 7 of you.
Yeah, yes.
If we're continuing with the movie parody, this is Revy's 7. Or Evitalia's 7, depending on your perspective.
Yeah.
One of them has
So
the
7-way
money.
split?
Yeah, 7-way split, I guess.
Well, 7-way split. If there's 7 of us involved, that seems entirely fair. I assume you'll be covering my expenses as well, and that won't be taken out of my cut, of course, because that would be unfair. So you cover my expenses and then give me 1/7 of the profits, and I think that'll be generally good.
Evitalia, as a criminal beekeeper, you're familiar with this. Almost every crook you've ever met thinks they're getting away with something by requiring you to cover their expenses, as though somehow you hadn't calculated this.
I am a grocer, so I can rack up expenses.
Yeah. Money is no issue. You just want more of it.
But he said he only wants 1/7 of the profits, and profits are calculated after expenses.
Of course. And kind of covering my expenses, of course. I mean, if you want my services, sometimes I'm going to need a bit of cash, for bribes, greasing people up, acquiring the goods and services that you need, these sorts of things, I'll get you a good deal, of course, You're better off with me than without me, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good to me.
What about that writ there?
That's so we can get you through Celebre.
So there's a problem. It's not a big problem, but it's a little bit of a problem. So you see, I'm okay with the writ, and I think it's a good forgery. I probably know who you talked to get it, but it's good. It's good. Only the best, I think. The problem is that, so this is good enough to fool, say, most of the bureaucrats in Celebre. I can walk right through the Crimson Guard Center, the Crimson Guard embassy, and just kind of piss on their seal, and this will be fine. This will be fine. But there's some dogs there, you see. The dogs don't really go in for bureaucracy. They just kind of listen to Violenthin. So we're just gonna have to stay away from the dogs. Just keep away from the dogs. Not a fan of dogs, even in best times.
If only there was a tonic for that.
Indeed. If there were, I'd sell it.
I mean, all right. Stay away from dogs.
Yeah. I was always more of a cat person myself.
All right, so a brooder shrugs and says, or Dasco shrugs and just says, well, no use in wasting it. And I begin collecting all the files and pouring them back into a small Ashna barrel.
Am I mistaken in understanding that the Asha does kind of technically help a little bit?
It kind of does, kind of. It's also quite expensive.
What is Asha?
It's a cactus-made tequila that came over from. It's complicated, but basically the Tael, which was a god of Baptist. God, this is a long story. Dave, you want to explain what Asha is in a succinct, short way?
Ashta is magical tequila that banishes possessions.
Yeah, there you go. It's the holy drink of Tael. There are priests of Tael around.
It banishes possessions, you can't be possessed by something, or
right. Like if a ghost is possessing somebody and you force Ashta down their throat, the ghost is ejected.
Which is important because in the Apthian society, they basically have a practice of sort of like soul transference to maintain their life. So, yeah.
one way to think of it is it's a drink so foul that you vomit up your spirit.
Fair enough.
But another way to think of it is it's a blessed holy drink that purifies you so that you are in control of yourself.
The Kaelites believe what Dave just said. The dwarves believe the former. It's a drink so foul that it makes you vomit up your spirit. They love it, and so they have a huge like Whale and his company have just a huge like empire, Ashta empire at this point.
As he's pouring this all back into me, I just hand back the vials that I picked up to look at, and just say, that's some high quality bullshit. I respect it.
It's good stuff. It's expensive though. I had to trade one of my family heirlooms for it. Then I kind of wink and say, it's all right. I got plenty of family heirlooms.
All right, having recruited the first member, the team is now up to 3. Which recruit do you want to pursue next?
Did we want the Smith next? I mean, Avatar, you can tell me if you disagree, but I imagine we would go for Smith, Miner, Baker, Candlestick Maker.
So the Smith is the one that you're going to have to get out of a criminal,
Yeah.
a crime lord's private vault.
Yeah, that's actually why I'm starting to think that maybe going Miner than Smith is better.
Gotcha. Yeah, that might be better. Yeah. What do we have to do for the Baker? Is just find a
butler.
Find a butler? Like,
is that the one? No, that's Candlestick. No. No.
Yeah, that's the Baker. Is find the
Yes, the
necromancer,
Baker.
right?
Baker.
Yeah, the gnome necromancer.
And the Bruiser, the Miner, we have to get out of another jail from a scorned teammate.
Yeah.
Yes, they were falsely accused by a member of their weird love triangle / hate rhombus, and yeah, and they're currently locked up in a bar, if I recall correctly. I think they're.
It's basic. So the story is that Rorik is currently being held by the person who is accused.
Okay. There's a giant social mess.
Yes, huge social mess.
This is one of those like horrible Mega Man style choices, right? You've got an expert fighter in a giant social mess, and an expert socialite in a giant physical combat mess. Which one do you want to try and handle first?
Maybe we should get the Candlestick Maker and just make both of this irrelevant.
Well, the Candlestick Maker is we have to find, and it sounded like that was.
True.
But do we get the Necromancer who can get information and use that to help get the Bruiser, the Miner? So you can kill someone, so you can question.
I still think if there's any talent that we have that Avatella has other than just being filthy rich, it's in social situations. So maybe solving the social mess is better suited. It negates somebody to just smash up the physical mess.
Yeah, and in sort of a metatextual way, there is a source of this lie that has blown up the social circle. So if you can find out who really ratted out who, that would clear things up in a non-violent fashion.
So good at social situations.
Decent. The other thing I was thinking was if we could just let Rorik do the escape work mostly herself, if we could just like get a key or whatever smuggled in to her, and then just tell her to go nuts. It could be quick and
I mean,
dirty. way of doing it.
yeah, that's true. That is technically a way to do it. That is a way to do it, but then you don't get the secret ending.
Did you see?
You don't get the secret ending in Undertale where the lesbians are happy. Okay.
What would I ever do without that secret ending?
I can't tell you how tempted I am, Jackie, to have your character just go for like half of this adventure without being able to find a weapon, just to pull a Mad Mardigan. So when you finally get one and just get to let loose, it becomes amazing.
All right. Sounds like we're going for the minor.
Yeah.
Nice.
Time to pick up some muscle.
Okay. So I'm going to say that a couple days walk. Now, you guys are getting now into the Middle Kingdom proper, and here there is a dwarven road, which is absolutely luxurious. So your travel here is pretty much effortless until you get to a point where you have to go off the road. And this town, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
This town is going to be it's about a day down the road and then about a day off the road. So it's going to be about 2 days later when you come to this town. And Jackie, what do they find in this town?
I'm sorry, which town is this?
The one where you're...
The one I'm
things
at.
going on?
Got it. The one I'm at.
Yep. So what we want to do is we want to create a little adventure for them that probably involves about 3 dice rolls. And generally what we want to see is we want to see them get a certain number of successes in accomplishing this.
Cool. So basically the situation is this. You will most likely find Rorik in not the elitist part of town, but sort of like a sort of more of an upper crust part of town. So you're going to need to find a way to get in to essentially an estate to find her.
Gee, I wonder who of us might be able to secure access.
Yeah, and so the person that she's being held by is let me take a quick look at my notes here.
So what I did for Dasco is I decided that they needed 10 successes to successfully get the writ, right? So what we have is we have sort of a final boss that we want to assign this number of successes to that they're going to need. And then you scatter little things in front of them to let them build up to that, to get them bonus successes, bonus rolls, things that can help in whatever that final thing is that they need to get done. Now, is that final thing that they need to get done just letting them out of the room? Or do they need to convince somebody of something? How do you want to make that final moment?
So there's 2 ways to get her out. One way is physically breaking her out, which would probably involve force and getting through the Rayland security force, because Lyria is not a bruiser. She's a smith, so she's more of a talker than a fighter. So she has guards for her estate. So that's one option. The other option is to solve the social issue. Lyria is currently accused of selling out the entire group. And Rorik believes this lie, which is why she's being held, because she was trying to solve that problem with violence while incredibly drunk.
Excellent. So how many successes do they need to convince her that Rourke is
That
not
Lyria is not the reason.
Rourke, right?
Yeah, so Rourke is not the one who's accused.
Oh, right.
Her captor is actually the one who is accused.
Your captor's accused, but her
And
captor thinks
the captor's only reason for holding Rourke right now is because Rourke is basically trying to assault her
okay.
because she believes
you need to
that
convince
Lyria sold
Rourke
them out.
then. Yeah. Okay. So how many successes do you think it would take to change Rourke's mind? I went with 10 for the previous one. I think that's a pretty reasonable number if you give them like 3 or 4 things they can do along the way to build up successes.
Yeah. I will agree with that, because basically if you can untangle the lie a little bit, you can get her on your side.
Okay. So we'll do
The other thing is that her motive to get paid on a job is also she's very interested in getting paid on a job because she's trying to socially climb.
Right. So then what we want to do then is start them off with just some flavor. You've already given them some stuff about the town. Give them some little things to do for research, and let those become clues to tasks they can do to earn successes towards that. So I think you had the right idea with having them search the upper echelons of town, right?
Yeah.
Now these little townships out here in the Middle Kingdoms generally form around some kind of hero or heroic party that then went to retire. And the towns spring up around the expenditure of money. This is why they become ripe targets for criminal enterprise, as these heroes are often not great at continuing to the maintenance of upholding laws and things.
Kind of like how Robert Baratheon was an awesome soldier, but not an awesome king.
Right. And so, yeah, here's the upper echelons of this town. Go ahead and what do you guys want to do?
By the by, you could theoretically go to one of the higher end establishments and see if you can find people who know people to worm your way in.
There would probably be a simple connections roll.
Yeah.
And if you want to get some help for anything complicated you're planning, there's plenty of NPCs that we can have the other players play to join you.
And technically speaking, you could theoretically, if you find the candlestick maker or even technically the baker, you could probably find out the truth too.
Yeah, because Rourke's whole crew is here in this town somewhere.
Correct.
So, do we know where Rourke is already, or do we need to find Rourke first?
Yeah, how?
Well, since her location is not on Google Maps, and
So we gotta find Rourke first. We gotta go there and find this group of people in Rourke.
she was drunk really basically the previous night, and that's when she got caught by Lyria. So she would have been seen being absolutely belligerently drunk. And people know who she works for, because she works for like a super old family, like old money family.
Old money? Might know anything about old money.
Yep. You would probably know the Grey Slate family.
So something like that might not even be a check. They might just have to ask any given street urchin. It's like, hey, where's the Graysons? And then
Yeah.
go over there. Sparrow
Yeah,
Hopper.
that's probably actually what I'm going to do. Is just as we go in, I'm like just pull like up somebody aside and go like, "Hey, we're traveling downtown. Where is the Gray Slate estate? Estate's probably the right word."
Yeah.
The street urchin holds out their palm.
I give them a high five.
Ha! Dude, just give him a muffin. You have a whole bag of them.
Yeah, I give him a high five and then a stale muffin.
Hey, when you're a street urchin, stale muffins are a kind of currency. All right, so you're pointed to an establishment where some of them hang out.
All right. All right.
Jackie, is this like a
Excuse
tavern?
me.
Yeah, it's like a tavern. So this isn't necessarily like it depends. Like, so because Rorik is a security officer and not like a fancy person, she wouldn't go to like the country club tavern per se. This is like a rung below that. But this is where like a lot of like the higher end hired people for these estates would be.
Who do
I feel
they
like we
see in
should
the tavern?
I feel like we should pretend just not to know anything about what's happened to Varrock. Just like I said,
No one in this town knows who you are. So
yeah.
you until you start asking questions, you're just a stranger passing through.
Right.
Jackie, who do they find when they enter the tavern?
They find the barkeep. He's kind of baldy and greasy with a broom-like black mustache. He's currently cleaning a mug. It's not a dirty mug. It's kind of nice actually, but he's been doing this a long time, and it's clear that he kind of like dips in the supply as well. His name is Tom.
See where I wrote the name text like my name is Tom.
It's written upside down so he can read it in case he forgets.
You overhear somebody ask, "Hey Tom, fill me up."
Before we like sit down, I looked around me like, hold that finger, one drink.
Oh. So I say we go with, we're just trying to hire some muscle to protect us with all this crazy shit going on. Does that sound like a plan, or?
Yeah, I feel like we should just basically pretend that we are just out of touch with what's actually happening and just stumbled into this town.
All right. Hey, Tom, I need a drink.
Coming right up, boss.
A really big, really strong drink.
But only one.
You got it, sir. What brings you to our little township? You don't seem to be from around here.
My boss over there is looking for some help on a trip.
What kind of help?
Someone to keep us.
Security. We're travelers, and things are whack right now. So I'd like to have just a little more security on the roads than usual.
I see. Well, I know a couple people from around here that provide security for some of the fancier folks. In fact, I know one. She's out of work right now. Actually, she's kind of been in her cups about it. So, yeah, she used to work for the Gray Slates.
Oh, the Gray Slates.
Yeah, she was here last night. Left the place pretty out of sorts. Don't know where she went, but she was here just the other day.
Do you know anyone we could check in with to look her up?
You probably ask around. I'm trying to think of how this character would know what went down.
Barkeeps always know.
Yeah. Barkeeps are going to be in on what's going on in the local social scene for sure.
True. Yeah. Okay. So I'll be hesitant to spill the beans in this case because the person that has Rorik is a higher end clientele, and I'm not necessarily willing to spill the beans on the Raylands. She got caught up. You know how it is. Sometimes people get into little arguments. You get the sense that he's not being totally forthcoming with you.
Guys do happen to know that the name of the criminal team she was a part of was the Diamond Hands, if you want to drop that. You don't have to, though, but that's something that you would know from your documents.
Oh, what sort of businesses you get caught up with? Like, I must be somewhat serious to use that tone.
She's a tough lass, bruiser type. Sometimes has a temper. Not often, but she was in a real bad way the other night. Real upset about something or other. Something about the crew. He slaps a hand over his mouth when he says the word crew.
Are the Diamond Hands doing all right?
He starts sweating profusely. He's like, He looks around shiftily and he says, "Keep your voice down. All right, come around to the back."
It's a good thing because I was about to shout it.
I love how casual you were about that.
All right, so he like snaps his fingers to one of the barmaids, and he says, "Hey, watch this." And he takes you to a nice room in the back. This would be his office, where he manages the accounts for the tavern. All right, so who are you guys really? You're not just travelers.
I have to hear, like, when you say he manages the accounts for the tavern, because like there might be criminal stuff going on, I have to hear all of those in air quotes. He manages the accounts for the tavern.
Yes, correct.
I mean, we are informed travelers, let's say. And as is usual with informed travelers, we are seeking more information. And potentially...
Listen, you gotta...
Careful.
Listen. I know who has her, but you've got to be careful. You don't really want to mess with these people.
That's right. Careful's my middle name. Dasco Careful Brew.
Oh my god.
I like hold up my hand to shield my mouth and just whisper, "It's not actually."
I know all kinds of dangerous people, Dangerous people aren't dangerous. You just gotta give them the right offer.
We've got money if that's what you're worried about.
That's not what I'm worried about. This establishment is in neutral zone, and I need to be very careful about what kind of information gets out from here, and if it's traced back to me, it's going to be, let's just say, I won't be running an establishment anymore for these fine upper crust types. You understand me? He's worried about getting found out as a snitch, basically. He's not worried about money. His clientele is basically quite well to do.
This might be a good part to have them make a persuasion roll to try and turn him to their side and earn some successes towards their final goal of figuring things out. If this person knows something that would actually be useful towards that.
Yeah, he does. I mean, like, it's his establishment that Rourke walked out of, and he did see her get into a fight, and he knows who she fought with and who they work for.
Look, we need some muscle, and we would we are interested in this lady you have spoken of, and I can assure you that we will be discreet in how we find out about her location. If you can provide that for us, we could be on our way. If not, well, you say you want to be for the rich and powerful. Sometimes there are multiple rich and powerful influences.
This is a nice sort of carrot and stick offer, right? They're offering to take it off the barkeep's hand while at the same time threatening to cause trouble in their search if they don't get the information. So this is a good opportunity to have them make like some kind of intimidation / persuasion check against the barkeep and earn some successes and
Yeah,
cement up.
totally. Let's go for it.
What do you feel would be the best stats to represent their current approach to convincing the barkeep?
Let me see. I feel like persuasion and empathy would be good because really his concern is about his reputation at the end of the day, more so than like money. He's not necessarily afraid of being hurt. He's afraid of losing his reputation.
Okay, so let's have them put persuasion plus empathy into the chat there, and since there's more than one there, if somebody wants to do some helper dice, you can try and add some pips to it.
Yeah, I should probably take the maid role.
Especially given that you're like a high
Given that
class
I've
lady.
literally-
Yeah. This is kind of your deal.
Yeah.
I think Chris is just like pure casual line read of the diamond hands, like without any kind of like hemming and hawing. You just like that was smooth enough that should definitely be worth a pip.
Now to remember how to input pips.
After you've got the dice in, do a space and then P1, and that'll add a pip in there. There you go, perfect. Hey,
4 successes.
look at that. That pip turned that 5 into a 6. The color coding on it shows you that the yellow one is one that would have been a failure were it not for pips, and then it became a success. All right, so that's 4 successes towards the 10 total for unraveling the mystery. That's a pretty big chunk of that mystery. How much do you want to tell them about what's going on?
I will tell them because I'll tell them what I know, and that's Rourke was here last night, absolutely pissed drunk, raging about how the team fell apart after Lyria Rayland sold out the team. So she's running her mouth and starts looking for her. And she does find her. Well, not exactly. She finds her security detail. And, well, let's just say that's where she is. She's with the Rayland family, or she's at the Rayland family estate. Most likely, given that she kind of got pretty roughed up by the Rayland security detail. In this case, the reasoning being she was very drunk, had poor judgment, and was running her mouth off, repeating the lie that, and this is not something that the barkeep knows, but she was running her mouth saying like, oh, Lyria, she fucking sold us out, blah, blah, blah. And so as you might imagine, her security detail didn't take too kindly to that.
So now the party can either run with that information, go find her, and try and talk her down with 6 successes that they need to do that, or they can try to investigate to see if it really was Lyrian that betrayed the team, and see if they can come with more useful information. What would the party like to do?
mean, I feel like we should go talk to Lyria Rayla.
Yeah, I feel like Lyria's the one to talk to more than Roar. Where would we find Lyria? I asked the barkeep.
He points out the window at one of the very impressive estates that's up on a hill. Not the biggest one or the fanciest one, but a very impressive one.
Decent hovel deck.
Party finds themselves at the front gate, I presume.
Mm-hmm. There's servants and stuff, footmen and all kinds of stuff, activity. People running the estate.
Is this one where they have to go through some security procedures, or can they just have the butler say, I am here for an audience?
You could try that. It may work. You might, Viv, you might be able to name drop your character's name and be able to secure a meeting with Lyria. She's currently in the dungeon with Rorik, so it may be difficult to pull her away from that, but with enough... If you can make yourself seem like an important business potential partner, then you can definitely get her out.
Yeah.
And she's not locked in the dungeon, so if you...
No, she's just down there.
If you give her a reason, she'll come out.
Yeah.
Right now, she's down there fucking face palming because her idiot friend / former crew member believes a lie about her, and yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we have somebody retrieve the butler or housekeeper or whatever. I will say hello, I am part of the Hellfire family. I have come for to organize a meeting with the lady of the house, if you don't mind.
Yes, right away, ma'am. He kind of shuffled away. And he does notice your name, and so he does kind of like hurry off to go get her.
Is there a place I should sit?
Yes, go to these chambers upstairs. She'll be meeting you shortly. You go upstairs to.
Hard for my associates to come with me.
Naturally, my lady. So you and your murder hobos go up the stairs.
We haven't murdered.
Matt, actually, this team is like a very social team.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
You and your team.
They're even wearing clean clothes.
No, it's incredible. You're much more likely to get all of you in that way. To go up to basically what's kind of like a little den, a little smoking den, filled with resplendent chairs and a large desk and several entryways. You sit for a moment with a crackling fire and twiddle your thumbs, and Lyria appears from a side door. She nods at you curtly and takes a seat at the desk in the room with a very large chair, folds her hands together and says, "Yes, how can I help you?" She is doing a pretty good job of appearing really professional and ladylike, but you can tell by her face that she is tense about something.
It's got to be rough for her too, because with everything going on in the dungeon, and then a noble lady of a Celebran house.
Yeah,
like that's not a small thing, especially like in these little Middle Kingdom back areas. So
not at all. And Lyria in particular, she's not like an old money family. She's sort of a new money family. Like doing pretty good, but she's trying very hard to become old money. She's very interested in whatever business proposal you have.
This is a fancy place. Fancy. This is the fanciest place I've ever been. Can I compliment you on how fancy this place is? You are someone of refined tastes.
You don't like yourself.
She smiles dazzlingly at you and just says, "Thank you. My family's worked very hard to get to where we're at." She says in a very humble tone, not giving away how proud she is. She's not. She is very used to men flattering her.
Have you ever had Dwarven rock cakes? They're very rare. Very rare.
She smiles at you in a patronizing way, and she turns her gaze towards the important person in the room.
So, I have Atala. These are my associates. This is the right word, isn't it? It's more like secretaries, traveling secretaries. And let's just cut to chase. We have heard that some of your organizations have gone bottom up recently, and we'd like to offer our assistance. In exchange, we will likely be looking to maybe hire some of your better hands, but I'm sure that would be a small price for our assistance.
My. It seems you know quite a lot.
Fair amount.
Well, I'm not sure quite how you can help. As you can see, we're quite busy here. There has been a concerted effort to drag my name through the mud. And my associates are starting to wonder about my loyalty and reliability and truthfulness.
I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, right?
I'm sure, as you can imagine, this is not good for my business prospects.
Brave of her to
As
mention.
I always say, if you can't trust your business partner, there's no business happening there. Trust is the most important thing in a business transaction.
You were really hoping to sell those rocks you picked up by the side of the road, weren't you?
I'm hoping to sell the stale biscuits that we still have.
She does not address you or even she acts like she hasn't even heard you speak in this past sentence.
Well, why don't you give us the rundown? And I'm sure, look, in the end, people talk, money talks, as you very well know. And I'm sure we could help repair this reputation of yours.
Well, as you can see, money is not necessarily an issue for me. My reputation is more so the problem.
Well, money can help reputation. It certainly helped us. Continues to this day. It's something that you'll learn with experience.
So this is probably a good point for her to send them off on a little minor quest to acquire information or prove her innocence.
Yeah.
Might be a good idea to assign them some bodyguards, as they might be about to get into a little tussle. So I think Biggs, what's another name? Bigzer and Bigsist.
Wedge? Biggs and Wedge?
I was going to do Biggs, Bigzer, and Bigsist, but sure, we can do Biggs, Wedge, and then the third one. In fact, that's going to be his name, the third one. Yeah, we'll go with something better. But that would be for Kristen, Tice, and Troy to play as.
Cool. So she goes over the events that transpired, And basically, what she doesn't know is who outfoxed her and pinned the blame on her. She insists that she's not the one that sold out the team, and you get the sense that she's being truthful because this is causing her a great deal of distress in her other pursuits. She provides you with some information about who you could talk to try to find out more. And she provides you the name of her other colleagues from the Diamond Hands. So she gives you the baker and the candlestick maker. But she doesn't give you the information for Lady Gracelake. Probably because she assumes that you know who the fuck she is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everything she gives you matches your own documents.
Yep. But now we have the backing. And yeah, so the candlestick maker is currently hiding, correct?
Yeah.
So we don't know where to find him. So
You do know he's part of sort of like an engineering firm, like a family that's kind of in charge of an engineering firm. They're not like think of it like a family-owned big corporation that specifically deals in one particular thing.
like we could go. I'm just wondering if we should actually talk to the miner, because the miner is easy to find and probably has some idea.
You're going to have to convince Lyria to let Rorik go. And yeah, good. Yeah.
But if you can convince, yeah.
And you're going to have to convince Rorik that Lyria is not the one who fucked over the team.
Both hard to do. But if you just need some muscle, like I said, she can send
Yeah,
like...
you've got some NPCs who can help you with muscle.
Yeah.
So you're well equipped for the team there.
You to find the baker.
The baker's going to be easy, probably the easier of the two to find, because he's basically trying to retire. And he's basically opening up a business in town under his family name. Which is funny because there's another establishment with the same family name, and it's all filled with his super salty relatives that don't fucking like him because he's a criminal. So he's basically, it's two establishments, both the same family name. They're in direct competition with each other for the same business.
And this is why there are trademark laws.
All right. I think just because the baker's easier to find, we might as well go there and chat with him. So I guess we just go to, say, thank you. I'm sure your staff can show me out. I will probably return later. Just let you know what I found out. And yeah, let's head to the baker.
Given that you're basically doing her a favor right now in exchange for a favor, she arranges for your accommodations and things like that.
Yeah.
Two drinks then.
We have business to do,
Oh,
Rabbi. We're here on business.
okay.
Drink
Order one
flavor.
drink. Then.
You already had your drink.
I mean, I can stay and have drinks.
Let's see, Troy, Kristen, and Heist.
Yeah.
What are the names of your bodyguards that are being sent out to assist this group?
Build a goon.
They roll 4 dice on physical confrontation and like 2 dice on anything else. Actually, I'm gonna do 5. 5 dice on physical confrontation and 2 dice on anything else they do.
Nice. I'm going to drop my name in chat.
Ooh, Bellatrix, nice.
Roll contact and physical concentration.
Ah,
You like that?
I really enjoyed Build a Good.
Troy, Tice, are you guys there?
I am here.
What is your goon name? What is the name of your goon? Rock is a great
Charles.
name for a goon. Great name for a goon.
Matani.
What was that?
That's a,
Nothing. It was a bad joke.
that's a good joke.
Hey, Tice, we've got an NPC for you to play. It's a bodyguard that's being sent with the party as they go to a potentially dangerous location. What would you like to name this bodyguard?
Let's go with Greg.
Grok, Greg, and Bellatrix. Love it. Alrighty, Grok, Greg, and Bellatrix form together and follow you guys a few steps behind, but they're ready for action. They know that you're heading to a place where the family of the person in hiding may not take kindly to your presence. Is everybody going, or were two of you staying at the bar?
No, probably going.
Okay, good.
Very, like, you'll get the sense that Avatar is basically ordering you to go, while also not apply that same pressure to. I say back now. I need to learn names. My apologies.
Your desk.
Dasco. It's not apply that same sort of pressure to Dasco.
Yeah, one of my notes tabs is just everybody's names in the list.
Yeah. So, if Dasco wants to come, Dasco is welcome to come. But also, Dasco could sell his rocks at a tavern.
I mean, are we planning on staying in this town long?
Nope,
No.
supposed to be in,
Not
hire somebody,
really.
and then back on the road. So if you've
Well,
got
if
if
we're
you've
gonna-
got a scam and not being there the next morning is the plan, this is a good town.
Oh. Well, we got a room, though. That's what I'm saying. You know, if we're planning on being here pretty long, I should probably come along with you guys. You don't want me hanging out in the bar by myself.
I would say just given the type of problem that you're dealing with, it wouldn't be unreasonable for it to take a day or two or three to resolve this problem. This is
Well,
a,
I
this
guess
is
I
a,
better
is a
come
social
along with
problem.
you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Do
We
you
need
guys
somebody
want
who's going
to?
to make a good deal.
You're basically hired detectives that kind of forced Lyria's hand because you know what's going on, and she
Yeah.
doesn't have very many friends right now.
Do you guys want to go confront the
Yeah.
candlestick maker tonight, or do you want to stay at the inn and go fresh in the morning?
I don't think they've. Well, I think you've taxed your resources, so you could
Yeah.
technically recover that tax by resting.
I mean, we could. The way my brain had this was we go to the baker, we chat to the baker. The baker presumably will let us know, like, hey, the candlestick makers might be, it's the one you should really talk to about all this. And then that's where the muscle's going to come in. And we could do that, like, in the morning. Find them.
Yeah. The other alternative is to get the hard parts that's going to hurt done now, so you've got a night to rest before
Sure.
doing the easy stuff. Yeah.
All right. I mean, let's find. Do we have any clues about the candlestick maker's location?
Didn't the person you just talked to tell you that they're hiding out with their family?
Oh,
Or was that the baker?
I thought it was.
The baker is the tunnel maker. He's the one who's retiring and opening up a business. The candlestick maker belongs to like a family that runs an engineering firm, basically. So they're not like super upper crust. They're kind of more like they own a company that does
Middle
business. Yeah.
Imagine if somebody was hiding out and like the family's like what would be like auto mechanics shop basically.
Yeah.
Right?
It's basically it's gonna turn out to be some shit like that.
There's gonna be some people.
He's in hiding,
there
but not
some,
far because he wants to have mommy and daddy's money to help him.
There's gonna be some family members around with some heavy tools ready to protect their kin.
Yeah, exactly. Like they deal with explosives and industrial grade acids and shit.
In that case, let's go knock on the family store.
So are you going to go see the baker or the candlestick maker?
Okay.
The baker is not hostile. Baker's not hostile. Candlestick maker will be hostile.
Right? That's when we go on the one we gotta fight.
Yeah.
The baker, the candlestick maker is the one with the hostile fan. So let's go over characters really quick. Let's review.
We were going to see the candlestick maker, the hostile family.
Correct. So the candlestick maker, just as a part of like the meta, the candlestick maker is the one that did it. He's the one that told, but you don't know that. The baker may know that because they kind of are both like engineering smart STEM lord boys. So they're technically colleagues. And Boris would not like Boris, who's the Boris, who's the baker, the tunnel maker guy. He would not necessarily like Jareth, who is the candlestick maker, because he found him to be too nosy about his work and too talkative.
I do feel like the baker is the one we should talk to first, just in terms of
information gathering. It is the better of the two options because they don't have armed guards. So
yeah. So let's go to the baker and knock on his door.
And given that you know that the crews are not the various crew members are not on good terms, you would know that if the Black Granite family guards saw the Rayland family guards, there would be a confrontation, because they know that like it would basically be like a gang fight.
Let's go to Baker. So I assume we're like now going to just knock on the door of new business.
Funny enough, it's not a door; it's a giant tunnel. So there's a bell outside that you can ring with like a little rope attached to it to just announce your entry.
Yeah, I stand out there looking expectantly at Remy with the bell.
On the top of the tunnel in beautiful stonework, it says Stonebeard Tunnels LLC. You see a small stout man with a long brown beard, or a long black beard, kind of in the back, laboring over some architectural drafts. He says, "Welcome. What can I do you for? Are you looking to what brings you in?"
For Boris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is Boris.
Boris.
we have questions that you probably don't want us to share here in the front door of your business.
In the
Is it-
foyer.
Yeah. Here is, here at the shop counter. Just, would you care to step into a side room?
He looks not happy, but he obliges you.
At this point, we just cut to chase. So, thank you for obliging us. We, as I'm sure you can tell, are here with relations to the Diamond Hands and the fallout from it.
His slight upset turns into a grimace and scowl at the mention of the crewman.
I understand this is painful, and if you just answer our questions, we will be out of here and out of your hair, hopefully. So, when your group went up, what do you personally think happened?
He goes over to a cabinet in his office and pulls out like a nice bottle of Ashta. Sits down, uncorks it, pours one out for you, Vivian. And he insists that you guys share a drink before he talks. So he slams his down and then looks at you expectantly before he goes into his story. Well, you want to hear this story or what?
I take a small dainty sip.
So
Get 2 of those glasses.
he only gives one to the lady.
I take a small dainty
It's really
sip.
obvious. These people operate within the higher echelons of society. They know who the fuck is the help.
Yeah. I
They
take
can
a
smell
sip.
it on you, man.
I just like take a sip and then pass it to Remy.
He takes it graciously. He's like, yes. The Asha is a very nice vintage. And you can tell he would normally use this with nice clients.
Yeah.
So he regales the story, and towards the end, the thing that he's most upset about, he says, and that's when it all went down. Someone sold us out. And I gotta tell you, this really stings. I'm a real professional. And these tunnel systems, they were my finest work. So one of these assholes stole the map and sold us out. Now, I know the place like the back of my hands, but somebody on this team took this map, which I have coded, but I don't know how it was deciphered. Somebody with that ability has cracked it and sold us out. They ruined us and they ruined me. And I don't really want to talk about this ever again. I kind of want to just get back to my business. But if you can find that son of a bitch who ruined one of my greatest building accomplishments, I'd be very grateful to you. So what you gather is that he's kind of an engineer, smart guy, and only somebody with a similar background would have been able to understand what he made.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're aware of that you might have had some engineering associates, correct?
I've got my suspicions.
Ooh, do tell. Almost too eagerly.
That Black Granite son of a bitch likes to run his fucking mouth. But I haven't seen hide nor hair of that bastard since it all went down.
I mean, would you care to confront him? Or
He stands up. Hell yeah, I'd like to confront that son of a bitch. He's a lightweight. You get the sense that this man is very upset because this was like one of his life's greatest achievements as far as a craftsman, and it kind of like got taken from him.
why don't you come along and we can pay a visit to your engineering friend?
Listen, I'd be happy to help you at the end of he calms down. He's like, I'm trying to leave that behind. I'm trying to leave that all behind. You've got my blessing to go after that bastard, and if he's the one that done it, you tell me, and I'll give you. I don't got much. My work is building tunnels, but tell you what, I'll give you some of the ash I've got in the back as a thank you. If you can find out that it was that son of a bitch.
You know, I'm sure we could do this as a favor.
He tries to calm himself down after being worked up. He goes, I'm trying to leave it behind.
All right, so let's go for a fight now, or scrap.
All right, so the party is proceeding to the home of the
Black Granite Estate.
The Black Granite Estate. All right.
Good luck with this. This is going to be where you'll need to find out where he's hiding. Somebody here does know, but yeah.
And it may well be just he's hiding in the back room or in the basement or in the attic. Yeah, getting to him may be another matter, but you've got 3 combat-capable bodyguards with you.
You may even want to do it under the cover of night.
Could be.
Yeah, I like that idea. We've talked our way into every place. Let's now punch our way.
Yeah, it's one thing to like talk your way into a meeting with somebody who knows they're innocent, but talking your way into a meeting with someone who knows they're guilty might have different results.
Entirely the diametrically opposed results.
Yeah. All right. So I no longer have a plan because I don't know combat.
I think this is where Remy is.
Yeah, this is Remy's space to shine.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna go knock on the door.
That's a plan.
Good luck, bro. Do you knock on the door with or without the Rayland guards?
Here's the good news. This is where your leadership skills get to shine, because you can tell these guards to operate as a team. That's your thing.
Uh-huh.
At least according to your character sheet.
Just like a house? Is it like a house with a wall? What is it? What am I looking at?
It's sort of like a mixed space. So you see sort of like let's call it like so down at the bottom is the firm where you would do the business side of things. And then on the top is the living quarters.
When they say business, though, these are engineers. So their business space is kind of big.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big thing. Imagine like a factory building sized facility.
Gotcha.
Why?
So this isn't like a mom and pop with like an apartment above. This is like a factory that has like a mansion on top of it.
All right. Can I use my crime skill to find a point of entry?
Ooh. Okay. Criminal potential. Here we go.
Oh, he also just has crime. So like,
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's true.
crime plus perception is going to give him a lot of dice.
Good shit.
What would you say would be the threshold on which he finds a way to just bypass all security? Like, what does he need? 3 successes, 4 successes? What's going to get him past everything?
Well, let's call it 3. I don't want it to be super crazy hard. Like this place would be under guard in certain circumstances. But for the most part, like they just build stuff, so it's not like it would be minimal security, but it would be secure. It's like they manage in very volatile and dangerous and expensive materials, so that's kind of the context in which they would be under heavy guard.
All right, let's see those dice.
Exactly enough successes.
Told you he'd roll a lot of dice on that roll, though.
Yeah.
That's what those kinds of characters are for.
So basically, during a shipment window, you're able to find a way in.
So now we need our henchmen to
locate the target.
locate. Yeah,
Okay.
go find.
Locate target.
All right, henchmen. Each of you rolls 2 dice, since this is not a combat activity.
All right.
Well, between the 3 of them, they've got 2 successes. What do you think that finds them, Jackie?
And we're looking for a total of 10 successes, right?
Total of 10 to complete this entire adventure.
So we're at
yeah.
6 right now?
That's right.
Sorry, 8 right now. So we had 3 from Chris, 3
Well,
earlier.
The 3 from Chris was to get on the inside, so he doesn't have to deal with the door. So
Gotcha,
I would say that doesn't count towards it, but I would say that these absolutely count towards it, these 2.
So where are we at now in total?
So at the total, you're at 6 out of 10.
Okay, 6 out of 10. Okay. So in this case, the factory is clear. So there's 2 directions you can go. You can go down to the basement, or you can go up to the living quarters.
This is not, I mean, you can do it that way if you want to. My suggestion is that you would, from those 2 successes, give them enough clues where they don't just
Gotcha,
find
okay.
that he's not here, but they actually find something that leads them towards him.
Gotcha. Okay, in that case, you search the grounds of the factory, and you can tell that there's been some construction work done, and you get the sense that the building is being expanded, but it's not immediately obvious in which direction. So you get the sense that it's a hidden facility within the factory. You find signs of construction, kind of like deeper in.
An underground lair, so to speak.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. So I guess we're looking for an underground lair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you basically found it. You just, down is the way that you're going.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going down. So tell my team, like, who's the guy? You gotta go down there, wherever it is, right? Gotta
You
find
basically
this
find a panel that pops out, and inside is a tunnel.
Okay, we need the person alive, but and able to talk and conscious, and that's it.
And this is definitely where you guys are going to run into armed resistance.
Bellatrix, do you have anything to say before you head down in there to try and take this guy alive? Any advice for the team? Anything to tell them before going into a combat situation?
Me?
No, Bellatrix.
Oh,
These are the bodyguards. They should be telling you guys something.
Punch first, ask questions later.
Excellent. That's very quotable.
While we're walking through the engineer, can I find a wrench or something to just snag? In half.
I mean, this is
You,
a workshop.
you find
so
you find
Yeah.
some engineering tools.
there's probably
Yeah.
wrenches in a variety of sizes.
Basically, just want a heavy wrench to just smack things with.
I imagine
Not because I'm good at it,
picking
but
up
because
one
I
and be
want to.
weighing it, be like, that's too heavy. Put it back. Take the next smaller one. It's like, it's too light. Get one in the middle. Yeah, just right. Too much weight, and you lose power on the swing.
And as we're sneaking down to a base, I'm just practicing a swing.
Grok, did you have a line to issue for your essentially Fast and Furious extra before we go in?
Well, I was going to ask how alive do they need to be?
Need to be able to talk and give us information.
They're not the
Number
ones
of
we
men?
want to rough up yet.
Greg,
guess my
any final
advice
word of
would
wisdom
be
before you
great.
head in?
Yeah, so they want them to at least sitting 2 feet above the ground, not 6 feet under it.
Alrighty. You guys burst into the basement hiding space and find what?
Armed guards.
It's combat time. So Jackie, go ahead and make a roll for the armed guards. We'll do them as a collective number of dice there.
What will I be rolling?
How many dice worth of guards do you feel they should overcome? They're going to be bringing 15 dice total between the three of them against those guards. Plus all the non-combat characters, of course.
Let's say there's 3 dudes in here.
Okay.
Make it 4. Four dudes in here.
Are these dudes combat trained, or are they just beefy guys?
Let's call them beefy guys.
All right. So beefy guys would probably roll 4 dice, I think. And you said there's 4 of them?
So, yeah. So 4 dice?
Yeah, so we'll put 4 dice against each of the people that are rolling. So this first one will be for Bellatrix. Can you beat 2 successes, Bellatrix?
So to set up the scene, you make your way into the tunnel, and there's 4 guards sitting at a table under low light playing cards, and you guys come in, and they were not expecting anyone to come through here because it's a hidden path.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Okay. Element of surprise, yeah.
Oh no.
Well, I think if you got the element of surprise, then maybe you've just knocked a die off of that person right away.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know if this counts, but maybe I could walk up if they're sitting down at a table.
Flip that shit.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, just walk up basically, run up to them and just flip the table. It effectively doesn't really hurt them that much, but it will shock them, I suppose.
The table flies over, and then cards and chips go flying in the air.
All right, and guard 1 is at a penalty of 1 die. They've taken attacks. Who's up next? Would it be Grok?
Of course.
Or Greg? That's fine.
One is named
Oh, yeah.
Brock, and the other one's named Greg. Are you kidding me? That's amazing.
Also, we get confused and respond to the wrong one. Also.
Yeah, that's what's so good about that. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, Greg just like as the table flips, he just like the guy goes to stand up, and he just does the go to sleep one punch.
Yeah, if you get surprised, that's one less guard to deal with. Dude is out. Good narration. So if that was Greg, then that means it's Grok's turn. Nicely done. What's your narration there? You do not quite knock the guy out. He had 4 dice. You did 3. Unless you're going after the same guy that was stunned by the table being flipped. Are you guys that well coordinated, or are you just kind of going after whoever's there?
Greg just responded to Grok, so coordination is not our strong suit. So we can say I went after the last one. Are we all just punching people? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, depends. Are you what kind of bodyguard are you?
I guess we're also trying not to kill people. So that's what it is. I have my sword, and I was like, oh wait, like don't kill anybody, and so I put my sword down and have to punch them, and I don't do as well without the sword.
Excellent.
But it does not hurt him enough.
Now that the initial shock team has entered, it's time for the rest of the party to enter the room and try to do stuff.
The actual protagonists.
Indeed. Now that the pawns have advanced, the rooks, bishops, knights, kings, and queens can take their roles. Roles that might actually be somewhat more planned out. So there's, of the 3 guards, of the 4 guards, 3 are still standing, but 2 of them have been stunned quite a bit. Nice.
Throw a rock I found on the ground at one of them.
I wish you had done this instead.
What? Throw a rock?
It's actually like muffin crumbs.
So is that like a help or die kind of a situation if he does that?
I believe that Chris' character actually has skill in throwing. Like he's capable of being lethal.
Mostly so I can play darts in a bar while I get drunk, but all right. So I just roll my throwing, or do I roll something else also?
Ranged? Sorry, so it'd be like I assume it's like your vigor. Because you're like,
If you're trying to hit somebody with a rock hard enough that you're actually going to hurt them, that sounds very much like vigor.
Okay.
Now, if it was, instead of a rock, if it was a like designed weapon, then it would be more like an agility kind of thing. But
a dagger or something.
Yeah, something where precision is more important.
Or rather, a throwing knife.
All right. Was that
2 successes?
Were those being sent after guards 1, 3, or 4? 2 is out.
Oh, number 1. The one that Bellatrix hit.
Poor number 1. First he gets hit by the table being flipped into his head, and then as soon as like the table falls out of the way, a rock smacks him upside the head. Still standing though. Still standing. Barely.
So Avatala is going to see this, and Avatala has never really been in a proper fight before. Like a brawl, like that's she has people do that for her. But this seems fun. She's this this is a new aspect. So she's just going to basically try and sneak up behind the same guard that Grok has just punched. And despite having absolutely no skill in melee, try and just whack him on the head with the wrench.
Alrighty. Let's see that vigor plus melee.
This is a single dice.
But all it needs is one success, and he goes down. Go ahead and narrate what that looks like there, because that did
So-
it. That was enough to take it out.
Yeah. So, I've taught this wrench. She's clearly holding it as a weapon, but as someone who doesn't really hold weapons very often would, just sort of like does this whole get down low and this sneaky like shuffling towards this guard. It's completely unnecessary. The surprise has happened, but she does it anyway. And then she just like leaps up and like lets out a cry and whack with the wrench. It doesn't hit hard, but you could tell like this guard was already unstable and woozy, and just the extra crack just makes him crumple to the floor.
Loosened him for you.
Basically that.
Perfect. All right, Jackie, how are these guys responding now that there's two of their companions are on the floor? One of them is still fresh, but one of them is badly beaten.
The fresh one has a scared look in his eyes, and he runs to basically other side of the sort of room that you're in, and he starts yanking on a rope, and that triggers a very loud ring.
Makes
Your
sense.
presence has been noted.
And then the one that had his face punched quite severely, but is still somehow standing.
Who has he been punched by?
He was punched by Grok.
Okay, so he's engaging directly with Grok then.
Grok did so much damage that he only has one die to roll, but he's still standing technically. Ooh, a return hit against Grok. Grok, you have a one die condition. How would you like to process that?
I feel like reasonably, I don't even respond.
Okay, you just
Like I'm just bleeding now.
you punch him, he punched you. That's how these things go. All right, you're down by one die, so you only roll 4 dice next time. All right, there are still the two guys there. One of them is over there ringing the alarm, but the alarm has sounded, damage done, so that there's not much way to stop that. The other one is exchanging fists and faces with Grok. Grok's already taken his action, but we've got some others there. What do you want to do?
So how many dudes are left? 2 dudes, basically?
2 dudes. One fresh and one badly damaged. And both Greg and Bellatrix have turns available.
Okay, I'll go ahead and roll.
Who are you rolling against?
I'm gonna go after the fresh one.
Okay.
Gotta slow him down.
Yeah. So you
So
yeah, go ahead. It's not
so
enough
the
to take
table
him
I
out,
just
but yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I won't no killing blows or anything like that. So basically, the table I flipped is like upside down with the legs facing up. So I'll go over and kind of just crack one of the legs off and start using it as a club, essentially, and go up and start wailing on the fresh one, the fresh meat. Got to tenderize it, you know.
Yeah. And he's so busy pulling that rope for the alarm that he doesn't have much opportunity to defend himself. Damaged, but still up.
Yeah, Greg will follow up with that.
Same guy?
Yep.
Alrighty.
Ooh, he's out.
He is very out.
Yeah. As he tries to dodge from the other one and gets hit by the stick, he just turns around to just do like the punch and like sort of like the twirl around for a second and then just sort of like fall on the ground. Yeah. Just goes down like a sack of bricks.
Alright. And then for the rest of you guys,
This is a good gift, dude. Oh my fucking god.
So there's just the one left.
there's just the one left who has just been trading fists into faces with Grok.
Wrench go bonk, I guess.
Yeah, that's a reasonable way to do that. It worked last time, right? Oh, swing and a miss.
Yeah. I imagine Talus swung with like all her might, which isn't much, but all her might, and has just done a spin on the ground.
I like to think that she like hit a wall and then the like wrench vibrates in her hands. She's like, ow.
Yeah. Ow, ow, ow. And like goes back towards Remy, like holding her hand like she's hurt, seriously hurt.
Remy, do you want to try and take out this last guy? He's wobbling on a thread.
Sure.
Also, where is your your other dude, your con man?
Grocer? He's supposed to be with us.
I mean, I'm here. I'm not a combat person. I can throw things at them, but I'm just kind of staying in the back. It doesn't seem like these guys want to buy anything that I'm selling, so I can throw a dwarven rock cake at them.
If you were actually selling like functional healing potions, they could definitely use some right now.
I mean, I'll sell it to them afterwards. They seem angry right now. When they're wounded, though, I'm happy to sell them the healing potion.
There we go. Another rock.
There we go. That's all it needed. It doesn't hit hard, but it hits hard enough. Alrighty. An alarm has been sounded. You're probably going to have company soon, but what else is here in the room now that the guards are disposed?
It's just a simple like wooden barricaded door. You can tell that the construction on this hidey hole is not yet finished. Although you do somehow feel like the tunnel is familiar looking in a way. And you can't quite place it.
Like maybe it was dug by someone you met earlier today.
No, it wasn't actually.
Oh.
There's striking differences, but enough similarity to be like, oh, it's like a uncanny valley a little bit.
Ah, gotcha. Presumably, you guys are going to try to breach this wooden door and find the person within.
Yeah, Greg will look at Grog and just sort of like pat his shoulder and like point at the door.
Avatala is too busy making a big show of wrapping her hand up that to actually give orders right now.
Well, then I guess the henchmen are going to go deal with the door, which I'm sure comes off of its hinges without too much fuss. What do they find within?
They find a sniveling small man.
So that's a client that I can deal with.
And by sniveling, I mean like literally like snot is running down his nose. Like he's terrified. He's not a combatant. And since the door has been opened, he's very unhappy to see that it's not the guards coming to check on him.
This was the target you were looking to find.
Now you just have to extract him.
Crumbles.
He looks at you and he holds his hands over his face as if he's like trying to shield himself from a blow.
Man, we've had a hard time tracking you.
He just makes a small sound and just to cover his face.
We've been all over for you.
What'd you say?
We've been looking all over for you, Crumbles. We need your help. We need to
He looks
convince
incredibly confused and scared.
friend Rorik is being held by Lyria, and Lyria has done some horrible things, as I'm sure you know. We need your help convincing Boris. So we can get Rorik.
I'll tell you whatever you want. Just don't hurt me.
So you'll come with us to go talk to Boris.
I don't want to go anywhere. They're looking for me. You're going to have a hard time convincing him to get out because he knows there's people on the other side trying to deal with you. He does not want to leave.
All right. Well,
I hate to say this, but this might be a bonk and run situation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
bonk him over the head with my wrench.
You're going to have to caveman his ass.
I tried.
No, Avatala has already come back in with her hand wrap and just bonked him over the head with the wrench again.
Who's going to carry the unconscious dwarf?
I guess Greg will do it.
Alrighty.
Sounds like a job to me.
Coming up out of the hole, have the other guards arrived yet?
They are en route. So they're a bit a ways, but they see you with Crumbles. and so they're basically one sprint away from reaching you.
Sounds like it's time for some athletics checks then. If you
Yeah,
guys
you
are
guys
running.
got to haul ass and get the fuck out and not get caught.
Or stealth. I could see either
Barrel
strategy.
tuck, everyone. Just get in the barrel.
How many guards are coming?
An indeterminate
Given-
number.
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna make it way harder this time because like the small number of guards were only there because it's a hidden path that they were guarding and they didn't assume anyone was coming. Now that you're dealing with like an alarm situation, let's say there's like 8 dudes coming for you. You could fight, but it's gonna suck if you do.
You do also have superpowers you can activate if you wanted to have done something with these guys before nightfall.
Yeah, if you guys want to use your criminal potential or something. What kind? Let me take a look at their character sheets. I'm curious what kind of
Mine's
things
not
to do.
very useful.
So Evatalia's criminal beekeeper power lets her do a flashback scene to have bribed a character previously.
Yeah.
So she can do a little flashback where she reveals how before nightfall, before you guys went in, she went privately to one of these guards that's coming after you and bribed them to do something other than what they're about to do.
And then what is Chris's ability?
Chris's ability lets him pay for and activate other people's abilities in other people's scenes.
Ah, I see.
So even
so
if
in this
Chris
case,
is,
it would be Avatala.
yeah, even if Chris isn't there, he can trigger Evatala's ability and have Evatala have bribed somebody for somebody else's scene. So if you guys split up, like Chris can coordinate a divided team across multiple timelines.
So in this case, I'd say Avatala's criminal potential is probably the best one suited for this type of situation.
Although, and yes, I generally agree that that's probably the best one in this situation. It is not impossible that Dasko's ability would have some use, as Dasko can tax criminal potential to have an item.
I mean, I can pretty much tax several things to have items.
Yeah.
As it stands.
But specifically, he can have magical stuff like potions and
smoke bombs
and all kinds of magical effects and things. Yeah. Any datal item of quality 2 that's single use, or he can pay extra to have permanent items. But yeah, this would be either like one possible solution. Maybe he's got a smoke bomb and he just has to narrate where he got it from earlier today, or Evatala, as we said, could have maybe bribed. Yeah,
Well,
go for it.
Just a question right here about it. Can I bribe somebody who's not in the scene to have done something to the scene beforehand?
Yes. Your power lets you go back in time to any point in time that you were at.
All right.
Which is
in
why
that
I have
case,
a document.
I will.
You guys
I would
may note I have
like to flash.
What? I'm sorry. Where are you going back to?
I would like to flash back to earlier today when we knew we were coming here, where I've gone to some of the staff and paid them a decent amount of coin to have greased down this hallway.
Oh my god, incredible.
Nice. All right, tax your criminal potential by 1. This hallway is greased, and the people pursuing you are just slipping and sliding.
That's some straight up Scooby-Doo shit. Or Home Alone. That's some Home Alone shit right there.
Yeah. I just imagine the sound of clinking and clacking as they all slide into walls and each other, trying to keep their feet.
Let's see. So looking at, I have a document here, which is the timeline for this. So we're looking at day 3 is when you do it. Would this be while you guys are visiting the tavern?
This would be between the times that we've chatted with the baker and the. Basically, I've like bribed the cleaning staff here. Between the time that we chatted with the baker, knew we were coming here to probably, have a good scrap.
Okay.
And
It's like you told him
the
to
time
wax the
showed up.
floors extra,
Yeah.
extra waxy.
Yeah, like super waxy. And here's a lot of money. Like, I imagine clean staff isn't like paid much, but this is enough that keeps food on the table for a week.
What was Jerv's last name?
Black granite?
Black Granite, that's what it was.
Yeah, and in this situation, I would have also warned as we came down this hall, presumably the same hallway, that we.
Like while you were sneaking in, just like be
Yeah.
like light of foot kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I've told the staff to leave a wet floor sign that I've picked up. That I'm assuming we're just running.
You just tax it by 1.
Yep, done.
Perfect. Okay, so that's done. That dealt with that situation. Having retrieved this gentleman and taking them to wherever they take them to, Jackie, what do they need to now do with this person to finish off? They've got 4 successes left. Do you want to call this 4 successes, or do they still?
I would say I'm going to give it to them because in this case, this character, part of his characterization is that he'll talk. Like he will talk, and he is afraid, and he pretty much knows the jig is up.
He's a quality 4 item with the special property of tells you. So he tells you.
Yeah, he tells you because, I mean, you have him now. Like he's been taken out of his secured location. So
I would actually like him to have to tell Lyria directly.
You need to tell Rorik.
oh, he's going to shit his pants.
Lyria and then Rorik. Because Lyria has to let Rorik go. We can't just go tell Rorik without telling Lyria.
He's crying. He's crying like a baby.
It's like now tell the good lady what you've done.
So I mean, you can ask him. You can ask him anything, and I'll in character try and explain.
Did Lyria betray the group?
And he shakes his head no.
And who betrayed the group?
It was me.
How did you do it?
I told him about the tunnels.
And why?
They're so good. He's genuinely basically just impressed with like the engineering of the tunnels. And now that he's said that, you recognize that the tunnel that was built in the facility is based off of the Stonebeard design, but is missing certain elements.
And where did you hide Brutus's map?
He like opens up his like he's got like a little vest on, and he opens it up and he pulls out like basically a little folded piece of paper that is drenched in sweat now. He reluctantly hands it to you.
Is Lyria satisfied? And go feed this person to Rourke?
Pretty much.
So you guys take the evidence to Lyria, and
Lyria is the one who needs to have her name cleared,
Yeah.
so yes.
and then and with that evidence, Rourke now knows the truth.
So if I may, Lyria goes down into the dungeon where Rourke is restrained and nursing a terrible hangover and a black eye. And she throws the map down and is like, see, it wasn't fucking me. You're shocked to see her slightly rattled and swearing. It seems out of character. Lyria signals to her guards to release Rourke, who's not happy, but is now looking at Crumbles and just looks fucking livid.
When she's done murdering the dwarf, it might be best that she skips town for a bit. Perhaps she can find employment with a group that's on their way out as well.
Yeah, and Lyria looks at Rourke. She's like, "You want to deal with this?" And then Rourke just kind of like cracks her neck, cracks her knuckles, and she says, "With fucking pleasure," and just beats the ever-loving shit out of this asshole. Once he's a small gurgling pile, the Rayland guards come in and clean up the mess. You guys get the good ending where Lyria's name is cleared, and she's and the tunnel system is restored back to Lady Grey Slate.
And you got a fun little tutorial on using flashback powers.
Mm-hmm.
Flashback bribery is very potent.
Very potent. Because that combat scenario was not going to be good for you guys. 4 dudes, I think you could take. 8 dudes is less likely to handle with the size of your crew.
I have a rough expectation of how you guys are going to get to Celebre, but once you're there, I'm going to be running in simulation mode. I don't actually have a plan for you guys to succeed, but the powers I've given you are such a diverse and exceptionally geometrically growing tool set that the possibilities are vast. So I don't know. You guys might actually pull it all off. We will find out. Does Rourke accept their offer? You guys haven't actually talked to her yet.
But I like to imagine that Talus just like hanged in the back of the room, watching as Rourke just pummels Crumbles. That as she's done it, guards, I guess, clean up. Let's say that, pretty good work there.
It's just another day for me.
Well, is Lyria in the room as well?
Yeah.
Well, you know how I said that as an exchange you might hire some of your, people? I think I'd like to hire this one, if I may.
Tell you what, you cleared my name, so consider the favor paid. Now,
Yeah.
Miss Clark's here. That's up to her whether or not she takes you up. If you'll excuse me, I have business matters to attend to. And from there, you assume that she's hooking up with her contacts and, throwing that little asshole under the bus.
Oh,
If you put
yeah.
it this way, the tunnel system was actually quite extensive and was used for smuggling goods. So its loss has upset a lot of people within the criminal underground in that city. So a lot of people are interested in what really happened.
Yeah. So, Rorak, was it?
Yep.
Would you care to go for a walk while I pitch you on our proposal?
I could go for a drink.
Let's do this.
Little hair of the dog,
Actually, I think Remy is going to brief you on our proposal. This is Remy, by the way. Remy Rorak. I guess let's go to a bar. Let's go to a bar.
Go walk upstairs around the house for a liquor cabinet. Unless someone kicks me out of the house.
Oh, you are delivered a fine bottle of Ashta from Boris Stonebeard.
Oh, more of this.
Nice. All right.
Is the party going to
Yeah, cool.
rest for the night at the local inn? Or are you going to try and crash at the mansion?
I would
I'm pretty
imagine
sure Darius put them up in like a nice inn somewhere.
I imagine it's a recruit crash head out in the morning situation.
I mean, it might even be better if you guys skip town tonight, because you have captured, someone's son.
Yeah, but they don't really know it's us.
The party,
They were too busy slipping and sliding on.
Fair enough.
and the party's no longer in possession of said son. So, the people who want it back can go deal with the other criminals that have him.
Yeah.
We are just mercenaries.
There's 4 of us now, so I pour 4 glasses of whatever it is.
Evatala just doesn't touch her glass. Like she picks it up and tries to. No, she has a glass, but you can tell that Evatala, she likes the sweet stuff. She doesn't like this bitter dwarven brew.
Technically not dwarven, but yes, it is. It is not tasty.
She likes sweet cocktail types.
Meads and sweet wines and
Yes.
that fancy shit.
Yes.
So Rorik.
She regards you quietly. Yeah.
Yeah. We are traveling to Celebre, and we could use some help to make sure that we are not disturbed.
Seems like you guys handled yourselves pretty well, though. You sure you need me?
Yes.
Short and sweet. Well, what's in it
Yes.
for me?
Well, you don't have to stick around here right now with all this madness going on.
Now's a good time to mention the cash.
And
That is out of character because
it's coming in.
Yeah.
And one, what is it? 1/7? Is it 1/7?
Yep.
Of a cut.
more importantly, it's 1/7 of a nation's worth of wealth.
1/7 of the mining cooperative's funds.
She is taken aback at. She does some quick math and is like, "Huh?
What is a lot divided by 7?
Yeah, exactly. Well, for a payday like that, I'll punch whoever you want me to."
It's more money than every rich person she's ever met in this entire town put together.
Mm-hmm. And you don't know this, but this is a little bit of character stuff. Like, she is basically in love with her previous client, who is probably one of the most powerful families in this area, and she's a mercenary. So that's not going to work out for her in that regard. Like, they're of completely different social classes, and it's not something that could realistically happen in this current state, regardless of anybody's feelings. So she's very interested in becoming like dumb fucking rich to try and make this work.
She could buy this whole town, lose it on a bet, and buy it back again. Yeah.
It's like, have you guys seen Berserk?
Yep.
So it's like Griffith if she was not also a huge socio-fucking-path.
But she's definitely got the combat skills down, though. You guys, several of you are of the echelon of society where you are used to enough money being able to buy anything. But she is wearing a belt that you know can't be bought. It's something that is only ever gotten through combat. It's a demon.
Yeah, she basically came from almost nothing. Like, fled from Highfort as a child in the wake of like demon hordes, and then grew up in Garrethan, and then had to fight them again. And that's, if you know anything about the demons, if anybody has that kind of scholarship, you would recognize what that is.
People don't wear demon hide clothing unless they themselves are confident in their ability to fight a demon. Usually they carved it from the demon themselves. So
Or they're batshit crazy.
Or they're batshit crazy. Yeah.
Either way, good hire.
What's your character's name, Ned?
Dasco.
Would Dasco know what that is?
Dasco knows a lot of things.
I figured he would.
He knows the value of most things. So
Yeah, exactly. So I figure like he'd probably see that and be like, "Ooh, this bitch is strong. Strong with a K at the end."
Alrighty. You guys get a lovely night at the end. Since Lyria sprung for a fancy place, you can recover 4 tax. Also, if for some reason, we're just going to go over this now, but if it happens in the future that you have more than 4 things taxed, you can move the tax to your stamina when resting. So eventually you'll run out of stamina, and that won't work if you strain yourself, but I don't think tonight anybody took a lot of tax. I think actually all the tax was on one of the random NPC guys anyway. Except, of course, for your epic flashback move. But yeah. Quality 4 in, because you spraying for it, but as you proceed away from civilization, don't expect the qualities to maintain, so be aware. But yeah.
Sleeping on the feather down blanket is way better than like cold, hard dirt.
Yeah. But also, don't be afraid to actually trigger your powers, because every time you rest, you can just move that tax into your stamina and be back at full capacity again.
Until you run this thing.
Alrighty, and I think this is a good spot for us to close up for the evening, and we'll pick up with the next recruits next session next week. Who would like to begin the closing ceremony?
I'll go. So I'm going to assign these 2 points at the same time. So Greg and Grog for punching dudes real hard and having hilariously similar names. I would like to award a point to Chris for leveraging the Baker's alliances to get a discount on the forged documents. I would like to assign a point to Vivian for using her charms to get a favor from the clerk and switching that writ of passage, or rather switching out the forged document. Kristen, you get a point for flipping a table into a guard's face and then using the leg of the table to beat the shit out of him. And to Ed for selling Ashta as snake oil for Apthian Plagues, which is a huge dick move and incredible characterization.
Yeah, I like to award some points. I like to award one to Mini Beast for her GM section of the part. I thought like the whole area was pretty awesome. Like having, especially like the poker game thing. You know, that's always a good classic of like breaking up a poker game in a secret hideout. I'd like to give one to Eben for their mastercraft of words and such. One to Echelon for, of course, for the snake oil. The downright dirtiness is just amazing. I'd like to give one to Greg, I meant Grog, for their tag team of just the Punch Brothers, and one to Rav for just being the brains, and one to Shifty for making a makeshift club out of a piece of a table. And on a side note, I thought it was funny when he said we had to bring that guy alive. I was like, oh man, if he'd gotten the baker prior to this, he wouldn't have had to worry about that.
They'll get him soon.
All right, I'd like to give a point off to Chris for helping me actually get that guard to agree to give it that writ of passage with the just perfectly timed plausible BS, I guess is the correct term. Point to Ed for create a character that I have already developed such a distaste for that a small part of me dreads having to go along with this nonsense. Point to all three of our hired goods for just doing the punch up, because that's the punch up. It was perfectly executed with the right of hilarity and also just punching. And then also point to Jackie for just making the love triangle come to life, or hate rhombus love triangle, whatever we went with. It turned. Is it?
Well, the rhombus, the fourth point on this shape has been eliminated, so it's back to a triangle now.
A love hate triangle, yeah. So, yeah.
All right, I'll
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'll jump in. Point to Viv, and I'm gonna do my achievements, so I'll see if I can keep that up. So Viv, your achievement is wrenching their plans for stepping into the fight despite not ever having been in a fight before. Chris, your achievement is shrewd negotiator for getting a discount on that forgery. That was well played. Jackie, your achievement is hate rhombus for the excellent backstory. And that was really a great storyline to play through. Tice, your achievement is cleanup crew for Greg taking out the last member of the Goon Squad. Ed, your achievement is snake oil. Get your snake oil. I thought that was just a great touch to your character, and it was a great way to get to know your character, at least a little bit. And then Troy, your achievement is just a scratch for not being phased at all by that 1 point hit as Grok. And I think that was everyone.
So point to Jackie for your commitment to your characters and their acting. Made it way more enjoyable. Ed, for managing to make me feel like I simultaneously want to hang out with and avoid your character all at the same time. So thank you. And then Troy, Kristen, and Tice for your awesome combat and making sure we got out of there alive. And Rav, point for just all your taking the lead and making sure we're getting where we gotta go and having an overarching plan so I can drink.
Awesome. Yeah. So Viv, for playing this social poise when you're talking to someone who's upper class, but also just like being willing to just get in there and wrench somebody in the head and we have to move them out. And then Chris, were just like basically just as far as I can tell, you're just kind of like you just kind of stand around and occasionally you say something really important and then just shit gets done. Like it's exactly the character that you're playing. That's pretty good. Jackie, awesome GM assistance, GM scene. That was really cool. And then for everyone else, just for beating the guys up, that's just punching people, just beating someone with a table. And then Troy just pulled out a bunch of really good one-liners, like how live do you want them? And then how do you handle the blow? I just bleed. So that's a really good, that's a good way of handling damage, right?
I think I'm last. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like Chris was doing a decent set of, got to do a decent set of negotiation because Eve Tala, is that what it is? Picked up that wrench. I'm glad that round went that way. So point in respects of balancing those out. And then Greg for the grok mix-up, which was perfect. For Tice, Kristen, a nod back to the NPC original play of just sliding the note across the table with the money, the amount of money on it. That was just the solid way to play that character. And then multiple things have been said about Ed playing a dirty, scummy person. But I mainly liked your description of it's like, yeah, we'll head back to my my stall or whatever, and it's just like a mud pit on the ground, and just a solid scene setup there of what your character was dealing with. I think that's all.
All right.
I don't think I said Jackie, but
Oh, go ahead.
For Jackie, nothing.
nothing.
No
No,
zero
that-
for you, Jackie.
I'm trying to think of like one specific thing. So, like almost all of your stuff has been said. But I liked you did a lot of connections, and so there's so much thought in your entire thing. But I liked the because I didn't read on everything, so the tunnel connections were really interesting. Like I was like listening to your story the whole time.
Bro. I managed to somehow like get all of the characters sort of connected for the most part, and the only one out of the crew that I don't think anybody met was Lady Grace Late.
Well, that was an awesome session. Thank you, everybody.
Great job, everyone.
I did count, and a total of 6 experience points were given out, which will put those of you who have been here for all the sessions at 13 total. I know some of you were doing that math as we went along and got them all taken care of already. So, but I just wanted to make sure everybody was up to speed. And yeah, we will continue this next time where additional recruitments as well as a brief encounter on the road will take place.
And so we're just missing Tice's character and Troy's character, right?
And Kristen's character.
Oh, Kristen's character, that's right.
Yeah, it's three more recruits to be done, and then you'll have to figure out
I'm
how to
only-
get yourself into the Moon Gate with Ordell.
I'm only going to apologize a little bit for my characters having such a long thing.
It took a while to dismantle the hate promise, but it was a fun dismantle.
You guys got the good ending, so
Yeah,
I'm happy about that.
and I've got a lot of material for building the future confrontations.
All right.
All right.
See you on that later.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop the
Catch you
recording
guys
here.
later.
We'll pick up next week.
All right. Good night,
Cool.
everyone.